RB&D Reviews. I'm Rob.
I'm Dave.
Brendan.
And today we're going to be reviewing the highly anticipated movie Super 8, which was written and directed by JJ Abrams and was executive produced by Steven Spielberg. And in a nutshell, the movie's about a group of kids that like to make home movies in their spare time, and they're working on a crime film that turns out to later be changed to a zombie film. Now, one day they're out in the middle of the night shooting a scene at a train station when suddenly they witness a train accident that leads to some very mysterious ongoings in the town. Well, personally, Brendan and Dave, I liked the movie very much. I didn't quite love it. One of the problems I had with it was I felt like Steven Spielberg, as executive producer, was borrowing a lot of different stuff that he had done in the past and putting it into the movie, making it somewhat predictable. But on the other hand, I really liked that the kids, you know, they felt real to me. They felt like kids that would like to go out and have fun and talk, and they also had a lot of different type of drama going on with them.
I thought each of the kids kind of had their own personality, but not only that, I think kid actors in movies can take you out of a movie so quick, because, you know, it's just like, this kid's like reading a cue card or something, and these kids, you know, you kind of forget you're watching a movie when they do some of their scenes. I mean, they're just such good actors in it.
Yeah, I felt like Spielberg was like, was kind of rehashing elements from the Goonies, because it's kind of like the same thing. You got all these kids, very similar in personality, that want to go and make, you know, movies, while in the Goonies they wanted to go out and, you know, do something fun like find berries.
JJ Abrams wrote and directed it. You keep referencing it as if I don't know how involved Spielberg was with the production of it, but it definitely felt like it was more of a JJ Abrams movies. There's a lot of elements in there that sort of reminded me thematically of like the show Lost. The music is by the same composer, and it's just a beautiful score as well, and a lot of the same crescendos. I sort of reminded me of that, as well as one scene where they're watching lab footage of the creature very much so reminded me of that show. But, you know, very much so, you keep bringing up the Spielberg influences. There was a couple scenes that reminded me of, like, they shoot the creature very much so Jaws style. You never quite get a good look at it. A lot of reflection shots. And I thought there were some things in there I feel like people were almost missing. You get to see the creature quite a bit in the early parts of the movie, but only in reflections and puddles. And, you know, I thought it was very interesting how they kind of build suspense for the ultimate reveal, I would say, but it's not a monster movie at all.
Yeah, I mean,
it had a little bit of like a Jurassic Park feel at times too. Like there's a scene where they're on the bus and whatnot, and the monster's like going after it, and it was like when the T-Rex in Jurassic Park is going after the cars and all that.
What did you think of the film in general, Dave?
It was pretty good. It's got a real big like 80s feel or 70s feel to it, because I mean that's the time period it's set in, but especially the film that they used to film this movie, it looked like an 80s movie or 70s movie.
Yeah, I agree with that. It does feel authentic to me. It does feel like we're in the period, and I didn't see too many elements that would take me out of it. You know, like stuff that's not from that time period. I think they did a good job with that.
The soundtrack was a lot of fun. It was like a 70s and 80s soundtrack, all 70s and 80s rock songs, like from the Knack and Blondie and other bands from that era.
Definitely gets you in that summer mood. That's one thing the movie did, it very much so lures you into that sense of summer. You know, the kids just get out for school, they decide to make a movie with their summer. You know, there's a lot of things that remind me of things I would do on my summers, you know.
Yeah, I agree. This movie to me was very relatable, and I did like the kids segment of, well, not segment, the kids storyline of the movie a little bit more than what was going on with the adults in the town, because like I said, there's some very good drama going on with them, and you know, I felt like you said, the acting is really good. I mean, all around the acting is really good, and I did enjoy that part of the movie very much. You know, I think, but what really took me out of the movie was, you know, the train accident itself. You know, it's like it's over the top, and I felt like it belonged in something like a Transformers movie. I mean, for the rest of the movie, you got some nice, you know, plainer sort of footage to go with the movie, and it's got a nice storyline. And this kind of felt like out of place with everything.
And it looks so fake, especially a lot of the explosions. It looked like they were like being set off like on the side, and they had like nothing to do with the train wreck and all that.
Yeah, I agree.
I loved it. I think if you're going to watch a blockbuster with a train crash, you want a train crash, and I thought it was just terrific. I think it really gets the adrenaline going. You sort of see each of the children characters running for their lives as this train is just, it's amazing that all of them actually make it in the movie, because this is just like one of the biggest disastrous train crashes. And I figure if U.S. military Air Force train is going to get derailed, might as well make it a big and nasty explosion.
Yeah, but it's distracting. I thought it personally, for a second, it took me out of the story a little bit because they're running for their lives. It's like something is after them. It's like like he said, there's explosions.
It's an explosion.
It looked fake though.
Yeah, I felt like it did not belong with the rest of the movie. You know, the movie is not an over-the-top movie like that particular scene. You know, it's nice and gentle, and then you get something that's like stuck way in the middle that looks like it was overdone.
I think without the explosion, that's sort of the MacGuffin of the movie, and a lot of the strength relies on it. And you say a lot of movies sort of gentler, slower. Every time something happens with the monster, it's boom, boom, boom. You're getting shocked awake. There's stuff flying across the screen. I think everything else is in the exact tone of the explosion in the beginning of the movie. I mean, it's a train explosion. It's a disaster. It's going to be nasty. It's going to be loud. I mean, it wasn't just going to neatly fall off the tracks. If it did that, everyone's going to be kind of, well, I mean, that gets your adrenaline going, gets you paying attention for like the rest of the movie. It's a good way to sort of close off the introduction to the characters.
Yeah, I suppose. But I mean, so you really, it sounded like you really, really liked this movie very much.
Yeah, I absolutely enjoyed it. This is a summer blockbuster, and if, you know, he borrows a lot from Spielberg. You want to borrow from the best. This is like, it's like paying to see a Spielberg movie. You know, everything else has been remakes and sequels and prequels. I mean, when we were sitting in the theater, there was a prequel to Planet of the Apes already coming out. It's like, do we really need to go revitalize every franchise? At least we have a movie that's trying to do something a little different, and sort of they marketed the movie well enough where they don't give away a lot of
like District 9. You see a scene where something in the original trailer last year where something's coming out of the train. You know, you didn't know what was going on. You didn't know what the story was about. I think that was very good marketing on their part. But I agree with you with that Planet of the Apes sequel. I think in a way there's already been a Planet of the Apes sequel from the 70s where they go back in time and something like that already happened. You know. So it's a rehash. I feel like since Planet of the Apes is not very big anymore, especially when the Tim Burton film, you know, isn't really looked highly upon. It's kind of odd to see that they're making a prequel like after all this time.
They're trying to get people. They're trying to get people of our generation to like be interested in it, I guess, and see it, and all that. They're just trying to make money. So
yeah, that's what
they do.
That's a point he brought up. A lot of studios, they're making the prequels and the sequels just to make money,
and they're running out of ideas.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like this movie was made for the money. It feels like they were actually they're telling an actual emotional story. I mean, the kid's story is the heart of the film. It doesn't feel like a monster adventure film at all. Not like you know, like Godzilla or anything like that.
Yeah, it is about the kids. That's why I kind of like that storyline much better than what was going on in the town. I am going to go ahead and recommend this movie. I think this is a movie that you've got to see in the theaters. You don't wait till it comes out on DVD.
Yeah.
You've got to go check it out. I think it's worth your time.
I agree. Yeah, I'm going to say see it in theaters also.
Cool. All right. Well, that's it for our review for Super 8. So thank you very much for watching, and leave your comments. We greatly appreciate it. And thank you very much for watching.